Hey, um, how's it going? Nice to meet you. For the sake of this channel, my name is Horace. That's not my real name, but it's a good pseudonym. I have lived a pretty uneventful life, all things considered. Um, I've had a pretty average life, I would say, in a lot of ways. Sorry, I'm just moving here. There. I've lived a pretty average life, and altogether, I don't have a ton to complain about. I think it would be a little bit silly of me to be like a serial whiner, to act as if nothing ever good happened to me, or I've had this horrible, terrible life. That would be misleading. Um, but at the same time, I also feel like things didn't exactly go the way I expected them to go. Um, and they I don't know. So this year I'm gonna be turning 22 years old, and I am kind of worried about that because you know I feel like I haven't really achieved anything beyond what I when I was 17 or 18. I don't really feel like I'm that different of a person than the person I was, um, almost 5 years ago, or no, well, we're getting there. I graduated high school in 2022. It's been a few years, and you know, I feel like I haven't really achieved anything. I'm feeling this real sense of aimlessness, this real sense of just I don't know, a lack of belonging. Um, and I feel like I need some way to talk about it. So I think my plan for this channel is to make little videos here and there, um, just talking about where my life is, where I wish my life was. I'm probably gonna do some story time videos talking about life experiences that I've had, uh, you know, and how it's kind of shaped the way I feel about different subjects. Um, I do have a speech impediment. Just gonna warn everyone now. So, um, if you're listening to this and you hear my S's are slurred or sloshed or whatever, so I think it's also because I actually have a gap between my teeth, like fucking Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's probably where that comes from. And I didn't get braces because I didn't want to get them in high school. And it's one of my biggest regrets. Please get braces if you're a 15-year-old or 16-year-old or however old you are. Maybe I guess younger actually, because I know people that got them in middle school. Get fucking braces. Do not wait. You will regret it. And that applies to a lot of shit actually. There's a lot of things that I wish I had did at the time that I just didn't do out of basically laziness or fear of change. Um, my entire high school years were very very basically consistently boring, until, well, to a certain degree. I mean, we had a whole the lockdown and all that bullshit, which was especially bad where I was at. A lot of restrictions. I basically didn't have a proper teenage experience. I got the first year and a half of high school. Well, not even a half. Oh my god. Well, actually, no. It was the half because lockdown started. It was around it was around March. My birthday actually was around the same time lockdown happened. So I guess first semester of my not my was it sophomore year? Wait, yeah. Um, my sophomore year was basically split between the first half was normal, the second half was not. So I didn't really get to experience a normal teenage era, and I was severely socially stunted by COVID, amongst other things. I also have Asperger's, and ADHD and crazy anxiety bullshit. So maybe I would have been fucked regardless. Maybe it wouldn't have had that much of an impact. But I do like to think on some level that COVID, the cove, the coof, right? I think it had a bad impact on my life. And I think I probably would have just been better off without it. But at the same time, I would have always had problems, and I'm not denying that either. So I'm a Zoomer. In fact, I guess I'm like kind of like core Zoomer. Like 2004 is around there. I guess it's on the younger side of core Zoomers. I feel like if you were in high school in 2016, you're like an older Zoomer to me. And if you graduated high school, if you're like class of 2020, to me that's like the epitome of like peak Zoomer. Like if you're like 2002 or something, around that, that's like the perfect age to be a Zoomer because you got to basically experience your entire teenage years relatively normally, well, as normal as you can get in the 2010s. But you didn't have to deal with COVID or anything until like the last year. Same thing if you're like class of 2019, same thing. You got to have like a normal-ish teenage years, but with obviously all the social media panopticon crap. But other than that, you had something semi-normal. But yeah, so this channel is gonna be me rambling about my weird experiences, my opinions on different subjects, my experience as a Spurg weirdo, basically, who is socially isolated and is 22 years old and not doing anything with my life. I'm also like chronically sick. I have some kind of undiagnosed chronic illness. I don't know what it is. I'm going to talk about that as well. My health is going to be a common topic. But yeah, so this is just a short little introduction. And, you can subscribe if you want. You don't have to. You can also, if you like this, you can leave a comment. You don't have to if you have anything to say about the video. But yeah, bye.